right. Hi, everyone. I hope you all are doing well with the post-food coma here. So I'm here today to talk about zerohouz. I've had a chance to talk with a few of you guys about it. Just a real quick note. I have a lot of slides, so we're just going to go through super fast here. So my name is Avideh. I'm an architect, mostly doing commercial high-performance buildings for the past 14, 15 years. And recently, I decided to retrofit my 100-year-old house to be all electric, zero emissions, and a healthy home as well. And so I've kind of taken the step into single-family residential architecture and retrofit, because there is a big housing stock existing out there for middle-income single-family homes that are not getting really addressed in terms of decarbonization. So I decided to take on the challenge. So I'll walk you through my process of kind of what are the things that I considered for the home, and what are some of the decisions that I made and why I made those decisions. And at the end, I'm also going to reveal the cost of doing all of this with you as well. So here's the house. It's very small. It's just under 600 square feet. It's a classic California bungalow built on top of oil fields in the city of Long Beach in Southern California. 2 bedrooms, 1 tiny bathroom. The back bedroom used to be a porch that somebody decided to enclose at some point in the 100 years lifetime of the house, and it wasn't really a usable bedroom. It needed some foundation repairs. I found out later once I started demoing stuff. And most importantly, it didn't have central AC, heating, or cooling, and no laundry. I don't know how anybody lived there. So here's a couple of pictures of what's existing there. It had a 100 amp panel existing, no central AC, so it had these window AC units, the ones that we all love and make a lot of noise, and the gas wall furnace that was just one furnace in the living room. Had a 19-year-old gas water heater that was somehow working still, and a pretty old gas stove. The crawl space, because of the years of settling of the house, it was barely just like a foot tall, so not really accessible, unfortunately. The attic, I think previous owner had insulated it already, so that was in okay condition. First thing you do is get a blower door test to figure out how much is this house leaking. And this is actually the wrong picture, but I found out that the house had 19 air changes per hour. So 19 times. And I noticed whenever I was in the living room and I turned on the AC just would never hit the set temperature. That little window AC unit would just keep going.
New construction is 3 to 5 air changes.
It's really bad. So I knew that basically immediately whatever was heating or cooling was just like leaving the house, and God knows where the holes were, and I was about to find out. It was really through the outlets, the door frames. The windows were pretty good. They had been replaced with dual pane windows, but really the door frames and the outlets, and I found out there was a bunch of holes in the floor. So those I had to seal up. Getting to zero. Well, first of all, shout out to Redwood Energy's Pocket Guide, because that's the first thing. I called up Sean. I was like, I'm going to do this thing. I just need to know like where to start, and am I doing this right? And I found this guide. I was like, Sean, it's the best thing ever. I read the whole thing.
It's a big team effort.
Yeah. So thank you guys for putting that out there. Super good resource. Highly recommended for anybody who's going to start on this journey. Although I feel like everybody in this room is already pretty smart about this. So next slide. So first step was to switch all the gas appliances to electric. Next. This was my big goal, because you can make a home all electric and it can still not really be functional or beautiful or a comfortable space to live in, right? The technicality of switching it to electric is one thing, but having it be a home that's functional and timeless and elegant is another thing, and that was one of my big goals. Next. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the equipments that I considered. So for heating and cooling, obviously replace the window AC units and the wall heater with something else. Next slide. So I considered the gradients. just because it was a simple swap 1-to-1 for window AC to window AC, and it looked modern. Aesthetics very important to me in this case. So I needed something modern and sleek looking, and this fit the bill, but it had just gone into production, and I couldn't even find this unit. So it was a nice idea, but I couldn't get my hands on one, and I think the price point then was really high as well. So next. So then I considered one of these cool portable heat pumps. Obviously not the best aesthetics wise. It was very cheap and I could just go pick one up from Home Depot. But I didn't like the look of that if I'm going to spend the money gutting the house and retrofitting it. Of course, ductless mini split. I can't tell you how many HVAC contractors told me I need to do this and I need like a 2-ton unit somehow. They all wanted to install one of these, and that was fine with me. But again, aesthetic wise, this guy, I don't like it so much. Sorry guys, sorry. I looked at the HVAC unit. Sean, I think you're the one who kind of turned me on to this, and very, very cool looking, very sleek looking, and it heats and cools, and it's just one package unit. So I like this one. And then next slide, I also looked at, okay, well maybe I can do a ducted mini split, and I can like hide the registers in the ceiling, and I can design around it. So these were my options. Next slide. So I compared everything in terms of cost, efficiency, the power. Does it need 120 volt power or 240 volt power? And do I need to pay somebody to install it? And as you can see, the HVAC really kind of fit the bill for all the things I needed, and I could self-install it, which was a big money saver. Even for a mini split AC, I was getting quoted 13 to 18K to install that, and I still had to find space for a condenser outside and run the refrigerant lines and all of that. I didn't want to deal with that. So I went forward with the HVAC. The next step was I used the watt diet calculator to figure out my heating load. Based on the fact that the house had 19 air changes per hour, the heating load was something crazy like 46,000 BTUs a year. And I figured if I insulated kind of, rather properly, not super air sealed, it's obviously not going to be passive house standard. But if I insulated and air sealed it, I can get that demand down pretty low for this house. Next. So essentially, I swapped the AC unit and the wall heater for one HVAC unit for the whole house. This unit, and it's been running for the past year, it's been more than enough for summer and winter to cool the whole house. I don't even have anything in the bedrooms. Again, location matters. This is Long Beach. We get a nice breeze. We don't really get those extremes. It might not work like in Sacramento, but over there it works pretty well. And it's very quiet. I do want to show you guys the install a little bit because it's kind of a newer unit. So next slide. Oh, the specs. You can go back one. It uses R410A refrigerant. It does plug into a normal 120 volt outlet, which I liked. I didn't need to run new electrical. They have versions that run on 240 as well. But honestly, I didn't need like the extra boost. And it met my heating loads. So bingo.
So you got the house weatherized first?
Yes, I did. All the walls that I opened, I air sealed and I insulated. And the walls that I did not open, I opened maybe about 60% of the walls in the house. The other walls I did not open, I did cellulose insulation filled into the walls. So everything got insulated.
And then did you also do duct sealing, or was it only air sealing?
I don't have any ducts.
All right.
There was no existing duct work, and that was another thing, like the cost of running new duct work when there is none and making sure that it's efficient, it just didn't make sense for such a small space. For a bigger house, it might make sense. So here's the install of the HVAC unit. This is how it arrived in a big box. It was pretty heavy. It was bigger than I thought it was going to be. I'm an architect. I should have known, but sometimes you see pictures and it's like, oh yeah, So there's all of us kind of gathering around. They're trying to figure out how to install this thing. I just called the handyman basically to help me like lift it and punch the holes and install it. Next slide. So the whole thing sits on this one bracket, no pressure. It has to be screwed into studs. So the whole thing can, I think it's like 60 pounds or something. So the whole thing can hang off of it. it does have 2 vents, 2 like 8-inch holes that need to be cut through the wall, and that's for the air intake, and that's really it, and then you plug it in. But there was a little issue with the valve when we opened it up. Next.
What?
I cut the hole, we had it placed perfectly, okay, everything is level, we cut the hole, and there's a diagonal stud.
What?
This an old hat, these are 100-year-old studs. This was one of the walls I had not opened, and you can see I had already filled it in with insulation too, because I do everything backwards. And so I opened it, and the handyman was like, well, yeah, we can just cut through. I said, no. This is lateral bracing for the house because it's 100 years old, okay? This is a very important framing member. Like, we need to keep this. So we had to switch the whole thing over. Next slide. We filled that hole in. Nobody saw it, okay? We put the 2 vents in. I also had a story with the vents because the vents were much deeper than my wall. Lesson learned. But we made it work. And then that's the final result. I just kind of plugged it in. In hindsight, I would have just designed a plug to go behind it so it could be very seamless, but. Oh, this, yes. Next time. Sorry guys, hang on a sec, let me fix this. Okay, hope it stays there. Next slide. Okay, water heating. You thought this would be the easy part, but it's not. It was the hardest part actually, to try to find a contractor who knew how to install a heat pump water heater, because all of them are telling me they either don't know how to install it or they don't want to install it. I don't know which one is worse. And they were telling me, because my current water heater was behind the house, my house is old. It got grandfathered in with like imposing onto all the setbacks that are normal these days on a side yard or a backyard. And they used up that little bit of like 2-foot, 6-inch space behind my house to jam in this gas wall heater, water heater, which doesn't have enough clearance. So even if I wanted to replace it, I had to move the water heater entirely. Next slide. That's where it was jammed in. They were like, hell no, you cannot put anything here. Okay, change of plans. We'll move the water heater to the patio where it will be completely visible to everybody, which is my favorite thing. And we'll put a nice little metal shed around it, I guess, because I had not designed this part. Somebody talked, you talked earlier about the space requirements for heat pump water heaters. Ditto to that, because nobody knew how much space you need around this water heater, but the city was pretty sure you need 3 feet because that's standard. So I had to go with that. And I think, I think it worked out fine. I kind of concealed it well enough, but also another thing, this is a 50-gallon aerotherm water heater. I have 1 bathroom and no bath. It's huge, okay? Why? Because I could not find anything else. There was nothing else at Home Depot to get. I couldn't get it, and I knew there was a
shower resilience center during a disaster.
Right. This is it. Come here. Come here. All the showers.
All the showers.
I should have installed a bathtub or something at least.
Yes.
But
Still
even
jacuzzi.
even the jacuzzi, I should do that. Good idea. Even the 120 volt units, I could not find it, and the contractors were looking at me like, "Are you crazy? Why are you making stuff up? This doesn't exist." I know it exists. No, we have not heard of it. It does not exist. So I hired this water heater company to install this, and I ended up having them replumb the whole house, which is another story, because I had to relocate the water heater from one side of the house to the other. So I already had to do all this new plumbing. Might as well replumb the whole thing, right? Next slide. Laundry machine, there was none. So I had the challenge of fitting one into a 587 square foot home. I did not have space for a laundry room, so I had to get creative. Next. Is this still working? I don't know. I looked at all these wonderful washing machines and dryers specifically, including the heat pump dryer. But again, I wanted to cut down on the cost of running new 240 lines, so I wanted a 120 version. And so I ended up with this awesome all-in-one washer dryer, the LG, that is ventless. plugs into a normal outlet, and I slid it under the countertop in the bathroom.
So smart.
This was one of the most complicated parts of designing the house. This little bathroom, which I thought was so easy because it was so little. What is there to do? There's a lot to do. Because that countertop had to be custom designed with the right height to fit the laundry machine under it, and then fit the vanity under it as well with the sink. It was a whole thing. But the good thing being, I just had to install a drain for it, and then it was ready to go. So, voila.
Did you have to also bring in like hot water lines and all that?
Yeah, connected it to hot and cold water, yeah.
So you had to run because because of the sink, the hot water lines already there.
Well, they were already there, but remember, I replumbed the whole house because it was old cast iron pipes. Oh, guys, the reason I had to renovate this house is because my pipe failed. And the whole thing was backed up. So it was, I had to either pay people to dig under the house to fix the broken portion of the cast iron pipe, or just say, screw it, I'm gonna remove the floors and replumb the whole thing from above, which is what I ended up doing. So I listened to 0 plumbers on that. They all disagreed with me. So then once I put the washing machine under the counter, the bathroom is really tight. It's like 5 feet wide, okay? 2.5 feet of it is taken up by the countertop. So if that washing machine fails and you need to shut off the water, I barely had access. I couldn't pull out the washing machine to get behind it and under the counter. So then I had to get more creative. I cut out an access panel in the countertop with just enough space for your hands to get to the valves, and that thing just slides right back in, and I sealed it. It is an emergency seal to be broken in time of emergency, but it works. But that is something that I had not thought about until the thing was in there, and I thought, okay. The counter guy made it work, so kudos to him. Cooking, you guys can guess gas range to induction. Next. I looked at all these different options, just like a plug-in induction cooktop or an induction range. The issue was that the house is very small. I had a whole 9-foot wall for a whole kitchen. So I had to fit everything on that one wall. And you guys will see the before photos, but it had all these giant bulky appliances in there, and the kitchen just looked so cramped. So one of my goals, design-wise and space-wise, was to help make the kitchen feel more open. And for that, I needed something that would build into the cabinets rather than a big, bulky appliance. So I ended up going with a cooktop that's built into the countertop and an oven that's built into the cabinets. It was definitely more expensive. I needed 2 240-volt lines, one for each. And so that was more of an aesthetic and space design decision than anything. Next. Yeah, so I swapped the gas, and that's what I ended up with in the remodel. So here's a recap of all the appliances I ended up using and installing. My appliances were kind of pricey European appliances because guess what? When you go smaller, it's more expensive. So when you don't want 36-inch, which is the standard size for every single appliance out there, you want 24-inch, which I had a 24-inch cooktop, 24-inch oven, 24-inch fridge. It all has to be coming from Europe, apparently, because Americans don't like small appliances.
Or Summit.
Or Summit now. Now I know. Now, if only I knew. And the dishwasher is also small. Dishwasher is only 18 inches. Guys, I'm telling you, that 24-inch oven, you can fit everything in it. Like, I don't know why we need 36-inch ovens. Yeah, I just don't know why we need 36-inch. Everything fits in there. You can cook a turkey. I tested it. It works. Okay, next slide. So next decision was, how am I doing on time? When did I start?
You're still good. You have 8 minutes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Is this all going to fit on a 100-amp panel?
10 minutes.
Okay, next. Use the wonderful watt diet calculator. Again, reminder, I had no central AC, which really helped with my watt diets. I had a combo washer dryer, which also helped. And I decided to not do a built-in microwave because that would need a separate circuit. So I did a countertop microwave. So that helped. Next,
Good job.
66 amps. So it definitely fits, and this is not counting the solar. I have no EV charging because I do not have a driveway. So, you know. Next, estimating the electricity usage. Next. Now again, because the house was all gas when I bought it, I had no idea how much energy I was going to use when the house was going to be all electric. So I had to find some way of estimating what it's going to be. And I came across this calculator that SMUD uses. It's kind of their like behind the house, like behind the scenes calculator they use to estimate electric load. So I estimated all have, oh, did it get cut off? Sorry guys, no. Oh no, it didn't, 3785 kilowatt hours in addition to what I was already using. So next slide. So I thought, okay, from the previous owner's utility bills, she was using about 2,000 kilowatt hours a year, and that was electricity and gas combined. Okay, I transformed it to electric, another 3,700 kilowatt hours, so a total of maybe 6,000 kilowatt hours for the all electric house. Seemed reasonable. Next slide. Wrong. Very wrong. Very, very wrong. It turned out that the all electric home was barely using anything more than what it was before. I'm not quite sure why that is, and the only thing I can point to is that I did a really good job sealing and insulating the house. So the loads just, you know, took care of themselves, I guess. So yeah, so I didn't need as much solar as I thought I needed, but it was too late because I had already planned all of that. So next slide.
So is the
Yeah, exactly. Now you get the hot tub when you need.
Now I can, yes, I'll get the hot tub. Yeah, I need space.
is the previous slide based on the actual utility data?
Yes. So this new slide actually that we were just on. Next. This one. This is this is the snips from the SoCal Edison utility bills. This is before. So 4.44 kilowatt hours per day, and okay, I'll be generous. I'll say 5 they were using. Okay. And then after, this is my bill after. It says 6 kilowatt hours. So I'm not using that much more that I thought I would be. Next slide. Oh,
So this was, did
We
you also
skipped-
add EV charging?
no,
So
no EV charging. This is just the appliances, heating and cooling and water heating. So I ended up installing a 4.1 kilowatt solar storage, PV panels with battery storage. Guys, complete overkill. I'm making like 3 times energy as I need. I hope SoCal Edison doesn't get mad because I think I signed some paperwork. Next. Here are the final pictures of the house. This is the before of the exterior. Classic, like little California bungalow.
You gotta start Bitcoin mining at your house.
Use the energy somehow. Next. I also did all the landscaping as drought tolerant landscaping with drip irrigation. I did all of that. This is the before of that back bedroom and the after. I took out a lot of pipes. Bathroom and kitchen, this is the before.
Ooh la
This
la.
is the after. You can do a lot with one wall, I'm telling you guys. And this is all like IKEA. I didn't do anything fancy here. Next, living room, and I had this weird mud room before. So that's the new space.
Excuse me, are we watching HGTV?
Yeah. Come on in.
Professional architect.
Yeah, that is helpful. That's a good reminder.
Guys,
Hire this architect.
that was the goal, right? Beautiful and functional. And it is on Airbnb, by the way. Next slide. How much time do I have left?
Oh, yeah, 7 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. I know you guys are all wondering, so how much did it cost? Here's my numbers. I actually took very detailed track of every single thing I spent money on because I needed to know if this is going to pencil out or not, or if I'm just going to go broke. It kind of penciled out. I broke even on it at the end, but the column you see BAU, business as usual, so I just kind of assumed if I'm just like flipping the house business as usual, how much money would I be spending on these items versus a zero house, like energy efficient house, how much am I spending? So next. So you can see 89,000 versus 94, let's say 95,000 is what I spent to get all of this done. That's a 5% premium with the rebates for the green features, or without the rebates, that's a 15% premium. So next time somebody says, oh, a green home is going to be 50% more expensive to do, no, 15, 1-5. And I think that's pretty good actually. Next. Some of the rebates and incentives I did receive, I got the Tech Clean California for the water heater. I received 3,100. Sorry guys. I got the IRA energy efficiency tax credit at the end of the year. Next. I got the CA Energy Smart Homes credit. They give this credit, this incentive for all electric home transformation, so you got to do everything at the same time. I got a nice check of $3,250 from them, so that was nice. The HVAC did not qualify, by the way. The SEER rating was a little too low, and I said, you know what, just forget it. I could have gotten another like 2K, but anyway.
But then if that didn't qualify, and if you had already received tech incentive, then what, like how are they?
They're separate from tech, because the tech incentive is from the utilities, whereas the CA Energy Smart Homes is a statewide program. So they're not looking at, like if you get incentive from utilities, it doesn't discount against how much rebate you can get.
So they were allowing
Both.
for the same project, for the
Yeah.
same purposes, two separate incentives?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tech is technically general fund, actually, administered by the utilities. So very stackable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one is the general fund? And
Tech.
Tech is.
Tech,
Yeah,
most,
right.
most
Yeah.
of the time.
Do you have any data, information, even subjective data about how the Airbnb marketing, interest, bookings, customer feedback, customer experience, how that side of it is going? Because the numbers, you know, it wouldn't take that many more bookings, it wouldn't take that much more of a premium to eclipse any
Right.
investment that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Can you give us any data or information about that so far?
I don't have, I only have like the data that Airbnb gives me with like my property compared to other properties. I know that my nightly rate is higher because I'm offering a better design and just a better space, and a lot of people book it because of that feature. A lot of people don't book it because of the green feature. They don't really know, but I get nice little messages from them like, oh, I love this cooktop. I want to get one of these for my home, so they get to test it out. Yeah, I don't have any. Yeah, I don't have any data on like how much more profitability I'm getting out of it, but the home is in the type 5 to 10% of Airbnbs consistently in the area. So
And you
it's-
stock it with like organic products and cleaner products and all
yeah,
that?
non-toxic like detergents and cleaning materials, everything's non-toxic in the home.
And you market it on the
Yeah.
Airbnb thing with those features? And
Yeah, as a non-toxic, it's Airbnb with a mission. So, you know, you feel like you're contributing towards something good.
Yeah.
I think lots of people like that, you know.
Yeah. Any comments from the people who stay there? Like, I love that you're making the space cleaner, not so much.
I get a lot of comments. Yeah, they're like, wow, this is the coolest kitchen I've seen, and wow, like this is a cool space. You did so much with such a small space. They'll be like, oh wow, it's such a tiny home, but it has everything. Like I can't complain. They didn't think it would be possible, kind of thing. So they get, yeah. Do I have more slides? I think I do. Oh, this is my favorite one. Guess how much it cost me to install the heat pump water heater?
Nice.
$500.
How?
From
Because
5,000 to
because of all the
500.
rebates?
Yeah.
And that's
So
with what you pay the installer.
I paid the installer 5,000 because they said, look, we don't know, Long Beach is very oil driven. We don't know if you're going to be able to get the tech rebates. City of Long Beach may not qualify. There was some ambiguity there.
Yeah.
So they said, pay us and then we'll file for it. I was like, great. So I'm paying all this money up front. I don't even know if I'm going to get it back. But I took the risk and I got the money back. So it did qualify. I'm going to wrap up. I know I'm out of time. Cost of not upgrading my panel. Somebody please help me with all these labels. I have a panel and a sub panel. Yeah. Challenges, I think I went through these already with the bathroom design and the heat pump water heater. City permitting is a whole other story. I'm happy to talk to anyone who wants to talk about it. I had to get very creative, let's just say that. Lessons learned, yes. Insulation and air sealing. If you're gonna really insulate and air seal, your loads are gonna drop, and I didn't quite estimate how much they were gonna drop, but they dropped very significantly, so that was a learning. The oven amperage. The electrician ran the wiring for the oven, and I had to change the oven at the last minute because I couldn't find the oven I was gonna put. So I thought, okay, I just swapped this brand for that brand. Wrong, one was 30 amps, one was 50 amps. So then they had to do whole new wiring. So that was a real pain.
Not that Summit has a 120 volt one.
I know. It would have saved me all of these. Can you? Drywall, it was finished, painted, cabinets were in. They're trying to slide the oven, and they're like, this plug doesn't fit. Okay, go under the crawl space again and run a new line. Yeah. So that was a big lesson. Do the all-electric conversion before you put the solar panels on, so you know exactly what you're gonna need, and you don't end up providing electricity for the whole block like I am. So
Everyone appreciates it.
Or it doesn't help.
Next.
Or they, more likely scenario. They'll appreciate it when she lets them go in the jacuzzi.
Right. They appreciate that they get to use my jacuzzi.
That's
I
right.
think that's what it's
And
gonna
your
be.
shower and whatever. Just
You're
don't
gonna say like a tall one, just like a narrow, you just stiff it.
Like one of those Japanese, what is it, the soak tubs?
Yeah.
Like the weird tall ones that you just kind of sit in like
They're like 80 gallons to 100 gallons. Don't think that you're going to get away with that 50-gallon tank. Or try it.
Really?
Go for it.
Oh, okay. All right. I keep it going. Smartest moves I made, not listening to the plumbers and replumbing the whole house, because it was honestly, it was so much more efficient. I don't know what they were so scared of. It turned out great. I saved about 15K plus by not installing a central ducted HVAC system. Saved about 5K by not upgrading my electrical panel. The under-counter washer dryer, it works really nice. I do wish that I had installed the heat pump washer dryer and not the condensing. I'm not a fan of the condensing feature because it just kind of leaves clothes a little damp. I do wish I had done a different thing on that. Yeah. The IKEA kitchen cabinets, those are all IKEA with custom fronts, super cost effective. So I'm happy I did that. And I installed a weather smart irrigation controller outside that kind of syncs with the weather, and that has been saving me a bunch of water because before it used to be all lawn. So I'm happy about all of that.
Yay!
Next slide, quick. That's it. Thank you, guys.
So good.